Can the SABC deliver on its mandate given its current financial state? Is the 90% local content decision working? Can the SABC sustain its relationship with independent service providers? And how will the public benefit from digital terrestrial migration? What time is it? It's question time. Khotsong and welcome to the show. My name is Mpho Tsedu, newly appointed Minister of Communications. Ayanda Dlodlo says the SABC's interim board is fit and proper to address most pressing issues. This in the wake of reports indicating that the broadcaster may need as much as 3 billion rand to meet its financial obligations and stay afloat. A number of factors are said to have contributed to the SABC's financial woes, particularly the 90% local content introduced last year. Music artists commend former COO Hlaudi Motsoeneng for championing local content. They regard this as a timely intervention since several artists died as paupers. On the other hand, though, Media Monitoring Africa says broadcasting 80 to 90% local content could cost the public broadcaster further financial losses in the future. But should the 90% local content be scrapped or modified? We are live, and therefore you can call us. The numbers to dial 0891104210, our Twitter handle at question time 24. Before we get into today's show, let's have a look at this clips.
What do we mean by local content? We mean by making sure that we create employment in South Africa. Because now, when we introduce this 90%, people are starting to go back to studios to record quality music. They are starting to employ other people. So there is nothing wrong about local content. Actually, all South Africans, we should support local content.
See, all we can say is we have noted the press conference, we have been following it, and the position of the SABC around it is very simple. We know that Mr. Motsoeneng is still an employee of the organization, and we have, the board has taken a decision that they are not going to communicate with him through the media. Therefore, we are not going to be in a position to respond to the issues that he is raising. We will then deal with him as an employee of the organization directly, as we would do with any other employee of the organization.
Well, Kaiser Khanyago there and Hlaudi Motsoeneng. My guest today, Dr. Blondie Makene, he's a South African music artist, and William Bird is the Director of Media Monitoring Africa. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. William, let me start with you. You look, I don't want to use the word, but you're
disappointed.
Not, okay, that's fine.
By that response from Mr. Khanyago, but any other employee had taken and said the things that Mr. Motsoeneng said yesterday, they would have been summarily dismissed, for any number of offences. I think it's a profound misstep of the board not to come out and communicate with us, the citizens, and take us into their confidence and say, this is what we're planning on doing, this is who we are, these are the steps that we are planning on taking. I think that given the crisis that the SABC is in, that would have been the responsible and logical thing to do. So it really is very disappointing that the board has taken the approach of saying they're not going to communicate with Mr. Motsoeneng through the media. It would have been useful if they'd communicated with us, the viewers and the audiences of the public broadcaster.
But should we trust what you're saying? You don't like Hlaudi anyway.
It's not a matter of liking him. It's a matter of the fact that yesterday at a press conference and before, he talked about the 90-10. 90% of what he said was false and inaccurate, and 10% was true and relevant. It's not a matter of liking him. It's about taking and relying on the facts. So he said that when he was here, the SABC had money. Well, if you look at the audited financial statements on the SABC's website, you'll find that when he started, the SABC had a surplus of 300 million rand, and when he left, under the financial statements he presented, there was a 411 million rand loss. So by any measure, that's 700 million rand, let alone the up to 3 billion rand. And where's that coming from, you know? So to stand there and say that nothing has gone wrong and that he was making money is simply not borne out by reality. And I think that it diverts us from the question. Whether we like people or not, we need to work with them. You get to work with people you like and don't like in your office. It doesn't mean you're not professional.
Yeah. The 90-10, you questioning it.
No, the point is this: all of us support increase in local content, right? And if you look at the regulators' movements around local content, it's been a progressive increase. They've imposed very strong regulations on many of our other broadcasters. This issue of needle time has been a particularly difficult thing. These are complex issues that are there, especially with music and needle time and music rights. You know, that isn't something that the broadcaster can solve on its own, nor should it be. We need a national dialogue to talk about these things. The fact that our musicians die as paupers is not as a result of the SABC not having enough local content, especially given that most of our African language stations have already been exceeding the local content requirements. So for them, that wasn't that much of a jump. What's problematic with the 90-10 policy as implemented by Mr. Motsoeneng is precisely that it wasn't costed, it wasn't planned, the advertisers weren't brought on board. It came out of the blue as an unthought of and poorly implemented exercise that has cost the SABC profoundly.
My leader.
Let me bring you in here. You are very strongly behind the 90-10 policy, behind Hlaudi and all that. Talk to us about that.
Well, however he did it, as Tate has said, that's technical. That's really for the office to discuss and say how should it have gone and whatever. But for us, as a nation, it's been 22 years now, almost 25 years, almost a quarter of a century, that we've been waiting to have a voice. And when this man came and implemented an idea which was written and conceived by very, very learned men, but it was so educated, the document, that they even decided to shelve it and put it away where we won't find it. But somebody who didn't go to school found that document and realized that there was things that hadn't been done that must be done. And of course, maybe without all the oversights, he implemented. He did something that should have been done in 1994, and he did it now. And however he put the SABC in wherever dire straits, for us, the people on the land, for us, the people who listen to South African music, for us, those that are marginalized by SABC, and SABC playing international music instead of we listening to ourselves. Now, how can maybe I may not like him, but the principle of 90-10 is a national liberation principle. But it's a principle of owning our airwaves, which we haven't owned, just like we don't own the economy of this country.
But it's costing the SABC money.
SABC at one point has to fall so that it can rise, because it cannot rise under the institution, because basically SABC still operates in its original concept when it was conceived. They haven't changed the laws of apartheid that govern SABC. They've changed a few things, yes, but apartheid still rules. How it came to be as a collusion between major record companies, SABC and Sambro, that whole collusion of family and friends who have seen money in our songs and who decided to collude to become partners and to drink our blood of song. So basically I'm saying
It's disturbing me when you.
No, I'm sorry. This is just some what signs that we use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me take Good Hope. Good Hope, you are in Silverton. Good Hope.
Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Mpo,
yes.
I fully support local music. I must say I've got a lot of CDs, local musicians.
Yes.
But I've got a question. Okay, let me give you an example. O.T. Genesis is a US rapper. He writes a song, I'm in love with a Coco. And then one of the local artists, DJ Pio, writes a song, I'm in love with a Coco. And then we are not supposed to listen to other music. We are supposed to listen to local content. So I'm actually questioning that to say, what is so local about that DJ Cleo song, I'm in love with the Coco? Then, I think the mistake here is that, the approach that is being used in terms of giving local artists an opportunity, that platform of 90-10, I don't think is the right one. Music, in fact, you should look at it as poetry. It's a platform through which artists communicate. So if we are going to put a censorship on foreign music, it means we are limiting ourselves.
Okay.
I think there should be a better platform for local artists. There could be events that the government organizes so that public can get to hear this music and actually buy it.
Good Hope.
That's my, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution there. People are saying you were bought. They're saying you are paid, you are a rented crowd, which is out there to make Hlaudi feel comfortable that he's got a few friends. If you are not bought, why are main South African musicians not part of this? It's a group of old, expired musicians who are not relevant in today's era. Where is Cassper Nyovest? Where is Black Coffee? Where is DJ Ganyani? Where is Babes Wodumo? And all those?
The guys are making money. Those that are making money, they don't find it necessary to be participating in the politics or the economic transformation of this country. They're making money, so they're good. It's fine. I don't have a problem with them. And what we are saying is, from where I come from, I am the class of 1976.
Yeah.
When I started doing it was for a reason. I do it for a reason. I fought for a reason. I sweated for a reason. I got shot at for a reason. I got sworn at for a reason. And 22 years later, I'm sitting here, and the same reason still stands. I still die a pauper. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So those that are living well, it's fine with them not to be participating. But me, I'm a revolutionary. And my constitution begins in my house. You see, when I'm here for an hour, when I get back to the house, before I even go national to the main constitution of what you say they don't exist, they are expired. We don't expire. We're not football players.
Okay, hold it there. Let's take Elvis. Elvis, you are in Midrand.
Yes, Mpo.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mpo, and Papa Makene there, and William. This is an interesting topic, Mpo, I must say.
Okay.
The reality is that in South Africa, a lot of artists, for instance, what they forget is that they are brand, and they need to be a good brand. Apart from 9010. I acknowledge the fact that, yesterday I bought a CD in Rosebank for a lady called, this lady who's singing a new song, says, Amazulu. What is her name again? I just bought a CD yesterday because...
Amanda Black, I think.
Yeah, Amanda Black.
Yes.
The reality is that the reason I'm mentioning her name, I didn't know about her until a recent Metro Award. And I like the music. The reality is that they need to market themselves, and when they represent themselves in terms of, say, 9010, they need to go through Department of Art and Culture to represent their plan to say, this is what we think need to be done. Like in the U.S., look what they do, these people. The government support them. You know, apart from becoming angry, you know, and galvanize, you know, around individual, the so-called the COO. You know, the reality is that you need to be real and say, Papa Maken, I know Papa Maken when I was growing up, when he was in the AYB, the African Youth Band. You know, I used to go to the festival, stadiums, and support and play the long players, LPs. And the reality is that we love their music. But the reality is that when you want to portray and showcase what you have, you need to be relevant. Okay. In other words, I still play the old music, but the reality is that you need to be relevant.
Okay, Elvis, thank you very much.
What needs to be done?
Thank you. Thank you, Elvis. Thank you, Elvis. I'm sorry we had, the reality is that we have to go for a commercial break. And when we return, we'll continue this discussion. Please call us 089-110-4210. This is Question Time.
We do not just speak, we let every voice in our nation find full expression in language and in culture. We do not just teach, we empower all people with education. We do not just bring you the news, we place you where the news is happening. We do not just entertain, we take you on journeys. We do not just broadcast sport, we create an arena for sporting heroes to inspire you. Ours is not just a job, it's a calling to ensure that everyone in our nation is informed, educated, and entertained. We're able to do this because you do your part. SABC TV licenses, it's all made possible by you.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time in Pimville. Sbu, welcome.
Hi, how are you, sir?
I'm well. Thanks for the call, Sbu.
I'm cool.
Yeah.
Ngifuna ukukhuluma nobaba uPloti Makene le.
Ulalele njengoba ukhuluma nje.
Yes, Baba Makene.
Commander.
What are you doing, guys? It's very good. It's very good. Local as lekker. Shouldn't do washokdala. So we need to support local music and local content as it is. So those who want to take us back and go to America and source content and a lot of things there, guys, support this guy Motsoeneng. He's fighting for us all. So big up, Aluta, continue on.
Okay. All right, it's Boo there making a point. Well, let me bring you in. You've been quiet for some time.
I mean, I take his point, the previous caller's point about making sure that we promote local content. And again, I don't think that any right-minded South African would say that we shouldn't. But this issue of artists making money off their music is, as I said, it's a complex issue around needle time, around how much royalties they get paid for these different things.
Okay.
And that's not something that is in the sole purview of the SABC to solve. We need all of our different broadcasters and all of the different radio stations to be coming together to address this in a way that is going to start to shift those dynamics that Ntata here was referring to in the beginning, who said those structures are still in place. So when you then get an idea that comes along that says, okay, we're going to just make everything 90%, of course it's going to fail. You know, you're almost setting those artists up to fail, because suddenly everyone thinks, at last we're going to get our money. But because you haven't changed the structure of the rights, the structure of who owns the rights to those different music things and where they come from and where the money going to come from for those things, that system will fail. So it's not a simple thing of saying we just need to increase the percentage and pay these people and everything's fine.
Okay, let's
And
go
on the point of being bought, I want to talk about that.
Okay, you tell us how much you were bought for.
Thank you.
Mala, you are in Bushbuckridge? Is it Bushbuckridge? Oh, Beggarsford. Sorry.
How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for the call.
And visitors there.
Yes.
Mine is just a comment.
Okay.
I do really support that idea of Mr. Motsoeneng. But the problem is one. I think there is a motive behind why they didn't implement it by the time they draft that. I can refer to it as a policy of playing 90% of the South African music. There is a reason, and this is just you said there. You said Bangu, or I'm failing to pronounce his name, wearing the black owl with a cap.
Okay, Tate Blondie, yes.
Yeah, Blondie. Yes. The problem is one, because they are benefiting. They are supporting Motsoeneng. And even if at 404, if ever you can come up with the idea that wasn't there before, if you do not qualify to work there, you do not qualify. Let them push that idea of saying we want the South African SA media to play our music, but let Hlaudi go out.
Okay,
and then that idea be implemented. It's not like they want to take that idea out. Let them push their idea and leave Motsoeneng out there and court deal with him.
All right, Ntate Machen.
Yeah, Ntate, it's about time that we got captured. We never got captured by nobody. Nobody's ever tried to capture the sector of music. Nobody's ever reached out to this sector like two people, the most disliked people in this country, uZuma noMhlaudi. And we can love the principle of 90-10, but it has to be attached to a person.
Why?
You can dislike apartheid, it has to be attached to a person, because everything is spiritual. They say as above, so is below. There must be, for you to know my words, I got to exist bodily.
Wait, but are you saying that 90-10 cannot exist without Hlaudi and the SABC?
No.
Okay.
He's gone. But I'm not here to defend Hlaudi.
Okay.
Hlaudi's gone.
All right.
But I'm saying 90% and Hlaudi, that's honor.
Okay.
It's the same thing. It's like you, basically, I think we're so Christianized that we think we can separate the principle from the person.
Okay, let's
talk about who bought me.
Yes.
This principle bought me. I am captured by the principle. I am captured by freedom. I love to be free. Something that white people cannot talk about, because they've been free forever. They've been the ones who are perpetuating the slavery upon other people. I want to be free. I have a 9-year-old who plays a piano in my house. I don't expect him to come and start struggling when it's time for him to be in the music. He must start struggling from scratch. I need to finish my job that I started in '76. I need to finish it so that they have a better future. And if Zuma says radical economic transformation, I say viva. If Motsoeneng says 90-10, I say viva. Because we cannot have these Americans that we learned from. You cannot have your professor, after you've left university, still breathing down your neck and checking you out. We need to put them aside and show our people what we've learned from this university. They must walk away.
Okay. The ad hoc committee said Hlaudi was a liability. They put facts on the table. Do you agree?
You know what, Commander? This country is in a mess. Everybody is bought. Yeah, not many can tell you like I tell you, I'm bought. The principle of freedom has bought me. Okay. But everybody else is being paid. Even Zuma, you see him. Zuma is surrounded by sellouts.
Oh, but the question that I asked.
So everybody is surrounded by sellouts. Sometimes I ask myself if SAB itself is not captured. Because if you look at SABC, you see even now, it's so anti-Zuma, anti the same government that it is supposed to protect. You know, so I'm wondering how many of us are being paid.
But how did we get from Hlaudi to Zuma?
They are the same person. I was telling you, two principles.
Okay.
Radical economic transformation. When we, in 2009, Zuma instructed us, let me tell you, he instructed us to unite as a union and become associations so that we can have a voice and we can be able to do this radical economic transformation.
Okay.
2 people. I'm
Okay.
here under command from the highest office in this land. I am going to transform my sector. I'm going to industrialize it.
Okay.
Thokoza.
Well, yeah. Goodbye.
Take care.